Hello guys, thoughts on human existence. So, how are you guys doing today? So, yeah, I took some time to get back. So, yeah, so today I, I was about to do it yesterday, but I was too lazy to do it then. So, today we are gonna talk about general AI and maybe more stuff from international politics or something. Okay, so I have found this thing very interesting, or what do you say, very fascinating about general AI. This is something which gives me some fucking reason to wake up in the next day. You know, uh, not the stuff like I don't know. There's too much depressing stuff happening around in the world. Okay, there's some good stuff also. That's right, but uh, yeah, for me at least. So I need something to wake up and look forward to, and this is something I really look forward to, fucking general AI, because this is something which will give completely different meaning to our lives, to our social structures, to what we think of work, and I don't know, the whole working, education, everything will be transformed because of the impact of general AI, or even I don't know, general enough AI, because there's no threshold. I don't know how to define. It's not defined yet. How general it needs to be. Okay, one threshold is being at the same level as the human level, or human child, or human adult. Yeah, but uh, that seems quite far from now where we are, because most of the AI developments we have done are narrow AI, or very specific and specialized functions or tasks performing AIs. For example, the car driving, autonomous cars, and okay, we recently had another one, really good one, which is moving towards more general, but that's still specific. Is the conversational AI, which Google released 2 days ago? No, Google Duplex. It can do it can book appointments for you completely in a natural sounding human voice, and yeah, it has been trained with deep deep neural nets, and also combined with text to speech and automated speech recognition technology. So yeah, it sounds very. They gave a demo. Google gave a demo in their Google I/O, I don't know, stage or whatever you call it, this week, last week. Yeah, so this week actually, yeah. So yeah, that's more general than just classifying images or classifying, I don't know, ads and customer data and all that. So that's more complex. But general AI, I am so interested in general AI, because general AI is something where it can it can do things outside of its specific, you know, specific trained tasks or something. Yeah. So where it can learn itself, where it can make sense of the world around it, the surroundings, where it can take advantage of context, where it knows what world is, what things are around it, where it knows, yeah, what things can be used for to reach the goal they have. So general AI will have some kind of common sense for it, yeah, and yeah. So yeah, I was actually I'm interested in doing this stuff myself as well. I have some knowledge of machine learning and so yeah, interested. I've been following this thing, the recent developments happening in AI and machine learning. So for general AI, have you guys heard of this guy called Ben Gurgel? I guess he's the he's the president or chairman of Open Code project, which is probably the only project of its kind or its breadth about who has a long-term goal of it has a long-term goal of building or the development of general AI, contributing in that. So yeah, I actually saw a video from this guy's YouTube on this channel called Big Think, uh, where he gives a overall he explains his overall approach and how it's different from two other main main entities or organizations or projects which are actually moving towards more and more complex and with increasing generality of AI. So, which are DeepMind from Google and OpenAI is the I think it's Elon Musk was one of the founder with that, I guess. Yeah. So, uh, yeah. So what he explains is that the approach they are taking is more broad, and instead of incremental approach, they're taking a approach where instead of trying to copy and make everything like the human brain, which Google DeepMind says they are aiming to do. Ben Gurgel says that explained that they are what they are doing is actually, he make a structure of the brain, not its every and each and every neuron and its whole structure, but more like the functional structure of brain, where it has a area for doing different functions, a visual cortex, a auditory cortex, a procedure memory, where it learns how to do processes, learning skills, and remembering those processes, how to make a sandwich or whatever, how to drive. So yeah, that's procedure memory, and then there is episodic memory, where it saw something and you remember, oh, this happened to you in your travel, this happened to you in your class, this happened to you on the bus, this happened to you in the work, wherever, this happened to you when you're with your friend. So, and uh, whatever information you can take out of that, that's episodic memory. So that's that, and then there is a distribution of this memory, short term to long term memory, depending on its urgency, depending on the importance of those storage. So that's a pretty complex function. Yeah. So these are things, and there is probably there is this whole logic, reasoning and logic kind of cortex or this area. So yeah, or learning new skills and that. Yeah, so all of these have to work together, and we have already done some progress in visual, like image processing. Neural networks are awesome already, like they are 95, 98% correct, and as good as even generating, in both generating fake images after getting trained, and uh, detecting or detecting which images are fake or not fake, or classifying them. Yeah, so they're already at a very high accuracy. In same in auditory also, Google WaveNet has already started generating like human like music, and now with Google Duplex they already have a conversational, natural sounding and human like conversational bot who can hold a full conversation without being taught. But still, that is not completely general conversation. But still, they are very good. They're very good in they're very good at least in some defined areas, some specific domains like booking appointment and booking a restaurant, reserving a seat in a restaurant and stuff like that. Defined tasks. So that's still one step progress. Yeah, and so we have done some work in the visual cortex part, auditory cortex. We have done a lot of work in classification and this logical reasoning part. Still, a lot of perceptual part is yet to be done. It's more complex, like figuring out stuff, and common sense stuff. Yeah. So, but there's a lot of stuff happening these days, especially. Do you guys know? There's this thing, like when you train these neural networks, the the interesting part is we don't know which connections they are making underneath to achieve the goal. Like after training through a lot of data, labeled data and annotated data, it reaches to a point where it can classify unlabeled data very well, or label them very well. But the thing is, we don't know what connections and what hidden features and insights they have found in the data to do that. So if it so this applies to all these deep learning and deep neural networks, and when they when they do something so good at, even their programmers, machine learning engineers, they don't know how it is achieving that goal. Like for example, the recommender engine of YouTube, it's also a neural network which is giving such a good results of recommendations, and but they don't know how exactly the mechanism of it is working, the details of the mechanism. They don't know the approach it's taking, and it's good at it, but they don't know the detailed step by step mechanism how it's doing that. And that's the strange part, because if some like when we move more and more towards general AI, it's kind of speculative, but what I think is like there is some kind of black box kind of property coming in where things are going in and coming out, and if things mess up or something, it's not gonna be clear. And yeah, it's like you have to train it from scratch instead of trying, like how can you find correct mistakes of a badly trained or wrongly trained, uh, I don't know, wrongly trained. Yeah, you just have to feed it way more data to maybe overwhelm the old data or do it from scratch. Yeah, it's like that Twitter bot, who that Microsoft Twitter bot who became, like in one day or 2 days, became racist and Nazi file and all that. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't even the creators of these neural networks, programmers, they can't do shit out about it because the network it makes is itself. You can't go and edit one part of it after trimming that or do this. So you have to retrain based on the data. It is just gonna eat whatever is in the data and you have become like that. So that's kind of philosophical as well. Like it's like this is the way humans work. You put a human through a kind of conditioning and experiences, and that's the kind of people they become. At least in some part. Nature, this nature versus nurture argument. So, like even in language, a same child, if you put in Europe, yeah, some I don't know, if you put in Germany or if you put it in I don't know Ukraine or I don't know in Thailand, so it's gonna the same child can learn two different easily same like culture, language, everything. I don't know, not just culture, language, even values, what things are important, what are not, and all that. So yeah, that's similar to the way humans learn as well, or at least we get conditioned. So yeah, that's close to that. There's a similarity there. Another thing, yeah. Uh, if you guys are following the politics, Trump is shitting on Europe again and European leaders like the French president and German president and whatever, German chancellor. Sorry, they're all getting pissed off after Trump goes out of Iran deal. Like they made a fucking deal after so many years with Iran, and then somehow Obama and all that they did it. I'm not in favor of Obama or Trump. I like none of them anyway. Like both are has some pluses, so don't think I'm like anti-Trump or something. Yeah. So, but Trump is doing some shit stuff. Like I don't know. I find it amusing also. Not always. I'm not angry at Trump. No. So uh yeah. So he fucking breaking out of all these. It looks seems like his goal is to just fucking do anti-Obama. All the things which these deals and partnerships and whatever programs Obama has made. His job is just to fucking go anti of those and just fucking withdraw those, just cancel those. That's his. He's like, yeah. So they made a like I read about it a little bit. I'm not fucking big expert in it. I just read few articles like semi articulate, semi detailed. So yeah, this guy Trump, he's just they went to so much work to manage to bring Iran into this agreement where it will not build anything for 10 years. And Trump is saying, oh, it's a bad deal because you managed to restrict Iran for building nuclear stuff for 10 years only and not. And they are getting it checked by this nuclear International Atomic Energy Agency or something because they are the ones who are doing like independent inspection every 3 months or 6 months, I don't know. And Iran is showing they're showing Iran is clear and good and following all the agreed guidelines and everything. But Trump wants to shake things up, so that's that. At least it makes things less boring. Yeah. So, but yeah, because of that, they removed because Iran agreed to that. They removed the sanctions which US has made on that trade sanctions and business sanctions and whatever. And so its partners in Europe has to follow that as well because they are in NATO and whatever. But so a lot of European companies like Airbus and I don't know some German companies and all that, they got a lot of good contracts and all that. And now because of this, They have to cancel it and they're losing business. So they don't want to lose business, and the president of France and Germany, Chancellor Merkel and Macron and all that, Theresa May, and they're all pretty fucking pissed off, but they can't do shit. They're just gonna say shit like, "Oh, we can't depend on US to do this shit," but they are fucking dependent on that. They are fucking dependent on Trump, and Trump gonna do shit, and they can't do shit. They can say all the things, "Oh, we are not gonna be dependent. We're gonna have to make our own military and all that." But yeah, they are so dependent on US, even after Trump pulled some of them in NATO to contribute more in the budget and everything. Still, like US is paying off the big budget of defense. So yeah, it's kind of they are like a bitch of US, even if they like it or not, and they whatever they can say, they are silently enjoying the benefit of that defense, and that's what, yeah, you know. So and they can't come together to make a fucking common EU force, EU military, Euro force. Yeah, even if some people talk about that. So that's just gonna continue like that. And but yeah, there might be some other side factors, some small things where they might start some counter trade leverage on US for this to try to bring it closer, or maybe move closer to China, and that's gonna make US jealous or more worried about stuff, and then maybe that will force Trump administration to do, I don't know, reconsider this stuff and try to not kick its allies just like that. Hmm. So yeah, and yeah, I feel fucking tired. I need to do some more stretching. And yeah, ah. So you guys, what's happening in your lives? Tell me more, and I will continue with these more of these with on whatever new topic they can be coming multiple a day, or sometimes I don't know. I might be busy with something, so it might take couple of days and then do. So yeah, but I'll try to keep it consistent on average at least once a day or something like that. So yeah, that's it for now, and I'll just watch some chill stuff and do some stuff and see you guys next time.